WCSM's General Store is recorded at 70X7 Studio. WCSM is brought to you by Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center. Christine Flynn, your local Farmers Insurance agent. For Good Reasons Roofing, your local hometown roofing specialist. The AME Group for all your technical needs. And by Sanders Insurance, your local independent insurance experts. And now, WCSM's crew.
Well, good afternoon to you. Good Friday afternoon to you. Another edition of WCSM's General Store from the 70X7 studio. Thank you for joining us today. If you joined us last week, we had told you that Bill was out and thought he would be out again this week, and he is. But we have a special guest that we're really excited to introduce you to, and we're going to do that in just a second. But before we do, we want to take a look at our top fans real quick before we get rolling here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to Pam Thrasher, Missy Pinko LaBrash, Danny Chitwood, also Velma Bland, Dave Stapp, Chris Hill, Valinda Laird, Debbie Taylor. Thank you, Debbie. Jeremy Williams. He's always hitting us up on the Facebook page there. Brett Kading, Stephen Hawkins, Bill Babcock, Arlena Jackson, and Marcy Krebs. Another guy that I was talking to him earlier this week on the phone. You probably remember him, Steve Hines.
Yes.
He was a deputy sheriff for a while, ran for sheriff a couple of times. We worked with him on the road quite a few times. Great guy.
Yep, very nice.
From what I understand, a great athlete in his day. A very avid golfer. Golfed with my grandfather.
Didn't know that, yeah.
So it was good talking to Steve. It really was. And
you know someone...
He's a fan.
We've been doing this for a year now, and I can't believe I think about him often and always forget to bring him up. Kevin the Legend.
Kevin the Legend.
And so Kevin the Legend was probably our top listener and friend and fan when we were at the radio station, part of Cop Talk.
Right.
And Kevin the Legend would call us every week.
That's right.
And ask us, at specific times he would ask us to pray for family members. And Kevin the Legend kind of became part of the show almost, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And so I know his family members have shared with him that we're doing the podcast. I just don't know if he's on Facebook or is able to see the podcast or not. I don't know. But I think that his, I don't know if his brother or brother-in-law, hopefully is watching and can let us know how Kevin is doing. And be sure and tell Kevin the Legend we said hello.
Yeah, please.
And we miss him.
Yeah.
So he's always been and still is one of our favorites.
Yes.
And real quick, before we go into our conversation, I had mentioned a few, I don't know, it's probably been several weeks ago now, that if you have an upcoming fundraising event or a festival or whatever that you would like for us to mention, you can send us a private message through our Facebook group page and reach out to us, and then we'll let you know how to send us the information, just like Gina did. So she sent me basically the flyer to my email, and it is for the 3rd annual Autism Rocks and Rolls Gala. And it is at Woolery Mill, which is down on Sunstone Drive here in Bloomington. That's the old Woolery Mill.
Right off a tap.
Yes, that's right. And it's April 28th. So coming up in a few weeks at 3 o'clock. And they're going to have smooth jazz by the IU School of Music.
Not just jazz.
No, smooth jazz.
That's right.
Also, wine wall, food by Fern and Feast, and an amazing silent auction. Autism Rocks and Rolls. And what I might do is actually, Mike, send this flyer to you, and maybe you could put up a thumbnail or something of it. Okay, I'll have him add that too, so that possibly.
You okay over there,
No,
bud?
I'm choking up.
You're getting him all choked up.
Yeah,
So
all
we
choked
can
up.
get you. There's also a QR code for tickets and all that stuff. So we wanted to pass that along to you. If you've got an event you'd like for us to let people know that it's going on, please reach out to us, because especially if it's for a good cause like this, we would love to get it on for you. So, all right. Well, our special guest, you hear us talk a lot about, or at least try once a show to tell you about the real stars of the show and the guys that make this possible for us. Mike Richardson, our producer, and Carter Longardner, his co-producer. And Carter is our special guest today. Carter.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Carter.
Hey. Long time no see. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
He's
Just a few minutes ago.
He's kind of like the neighbor on Home Improvement. Remember that guy
Yes.
who was always...
Yeah.
Yes.
just-
Yes.
Yeah.
You want that?
That's Carter right there.
That's exactly
It's
right.
actually good to see you right here.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives us a lot of cues over there, and I try to follow along. But
runs our music beds
basically
and stuff
does
for
everything.
us.
Yeah,
and,
blows your eardrums out occasionally, you know.
just once.
only once or twice.
Yeah, or twice.
Let's
But
not
who's
go
counting,
once. I
right?
think it might. But I mean,
Who's counting?
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But he's
We
Mike,
forgot about it already.
Mike's right hand. I think Mike Carter coming on as assistant producer, co-producer has really helped Mike too. I think Mike would say that. Mike doesn't have so many things going on.
Like he's trying right now.
At one, yes.
Right, like
at
he's
one
trying-
point, he became. It's like playing drums or steel guitar. Like everything's doing something a little different. So, but we stole Carter for this episode because I thought it'd be fun if y'all actually got to meet the two that we try to introduce at the beginning of each show.
Right.
So
we needed somebody to come on. So
and Bill,
And I was glad to be here.
So,
And I was here already, so, you know.
and it worked out. So,
We had an empty chair.
right.
so Carter Longardner. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Bloomington, Monroe County, Ellettsville area, or
Originally Brazil, Indiana.
okay?
Yeah.
High school there. You
Up
grew
till 13. Then I moved to Owen County and
okay.
finished at Owen Valley.
All right.
For all
Go
the Edgewood
Patriots?
people. Yeah, the Patriots.
Go Patriots.
So you're a patriot.
Yeah,
No?
I guess I am. I still feel a little bit towards Northview,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
back to
okay.
Seville, but yeah,
cool.
I guess I'm a patriot.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Very good. And then you were then you moved to Ellettsville, and you were married.
Still live in between Spencer and
okay.
Ellettsville, but yeah, everything I do is over here in Ellettsville and,
And
Bloomington. So
You got married and raised your kids here in Ellettsville. As far as the school systems, I mean,
no, they went to Owen Valley.
oh, they went to Owen Valley as well. Okay. All right. And so, talk a little bit about what you do for a living. Tell us your story about.
Okay.
So, because, and I apologize. The other day, I said you were a barber, and you corrected me. You said you're a cosmetologist.
Well,
The difference?
by license, I'm both.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've combined the two. Actually, when you get your license now, it's barber and cosmetology. It's combined.
'Cause there
which
used-
it should have been for a long time.
There used to be just a barber school,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But now, when you go to school to become a barber,
Right.
It's all the same schooling?
There
now,
are
or-
some still up in Indianapolis, but like in Bloomington, it's more cosmetology.
Right.
But they try to teach some barbering.
Okay.
So around here, we didn't have a barber school. So that's what I had to do. I had to go to cosmetology,
I
which
see.
gave me, I feel like it helped me in some sense where I learned different things that
Techniques,
maybe
right.
a barber wouldn't.
Sure.
So yeah, it's been good.
Okay, very good. So when you went, was it hair arts?
It was Hair by Kay's, I think, was the name of it.
Okay.
Kay's Beauty College. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
That was back in 91.
Okay, because it's Tricoci or something, I think, now local.
Actually, it's nothing now. They are out of business.
Bloomington's is?
Yeah, well, the one down by Big Lots, yeah. They used to be
I
Kay's,
see.
and then it was Indiana
Yeah,
Cosmetology.
Right.
Yeah, because my daughter goes through a high school program. She does.
The
Yeah.
one on the north side of town is still open, I think, and it's Tricoci.
I think that's right.
I didn't know the one on the west side closed.
It just did. Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
close to where the old was it the Village Theater there?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
The old
Close to-
Cascades
yeah,
IGA
Yeah.
used to be up
yeah.
in there.
Right.
Yep.
Very good. So, when did
You don't
you?
remember
Now,
the
did you
Village
go
Theater?
I
as
was laughing
part
at her
of
'cause
like
she said up in there.
on up in there?
Up in there places.
So, when you went to cosmetology barber school, was it part of a trade school? Like, were you in high school and did it that way?
No,
or was
wish
it
I
after?
had.
Oh, yeah.
Wish I had. Actually, it was funny because when I went, a lot of the friends that I had, which were mostly girls, they were just finishing because they had gone through the
school system.
Which, man, that'd been great if I'd had foresight.
Right.
But, I was going to be a musician. So I didn't need all that. But
that did happen.
But you
yeah,
are.
but,
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah.
I guess you could call me that.
I'm going to call you that.
Yeah, it worked out though, because if looking back, I don't think I was ready for it. I wasn't sure I wanted to do that until I got out of school. And it's actually a gal that was at our church, a national gal. She toured with like Paul Mitchell, all these different people.
Right.
She was Farouk System. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Sunglitz, all the different ones. She was actually under this guy and traveled all over the world. So she was one of the big artists, and she goes, "I think you could do this. I think you'd be really good at this." And that's what got me into it. So
interesting.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so now you own your own shop?
Yes.
And what was that process? Like, did you work? Did you have booth rental space? Where did you go when you got your license? And like,
When
how
you're a
long
rookie.
how long
when I
did
was
it
rookie.
take you to get your own
Okay.
shop?
Let me look at the clock here real quick. Okay, 3 minutes. I'm going to boogie through this. So when I got out of school, I worked 9 months in a salon for this gal. She had a little salon in Bowling Green, Indiana, of all places, which when you're out there, there's not that many people.
Right.
So about 9 months of that, I realized, wow, I don't like doing perms. I don't like doing hair color. I can't stand it, but I love cutting hair.
Yeah.
So one day I was walking with a buddy in the mall, College Mall here in Bloomington, and came past the barber shop. It was Walker's at that time. And I thought, wow, that looks like a cool place. And it was loaded with people. So
Yeah.
I went in and talked with the owner, Harry Magner at the time, and he said, "Come back Wednesday. I'm looking for someone."
Oh, really?
So I was off Wednesday. So I showed up. I spent, probably 6 hours there that day and cut more hair that day than I cut the whole week at the job that I previously had. And then what really got me at the end of the day, he goes, "Now come over here, Carter." And he hands me, I know this is going to sound so stupid, but he hands me $60. I thought I was rich.
I bet you were so excited.
I thought, this is all for today?
This is all for me.
Wow. And it was fantastic. And it's like, he goes, "You're hired." So
wow.
I really learned to home in my skills at that shop. They had several incredible barbers. He was one of them. Actually, a gal named Peggy Cravens was probably one of the best barbers I ever met, and she showed me a lot of different things. So you learn. It's one of those professions you learn as you go.
Yeah.
But you learn from people that have been in the business for a long
years.
time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, is Harry still around?
Harry is still around. He's not barbering anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I know he's a big influence on you.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So how long were you there at the mall then? Were you still
10
at
years.
that place
Wow.
when they closed at the mall?
No. So what happened, we had another guy that came in and bought, a good friend of mine, Jeff Lewis, owns Bloomington Barbershop now. Great place to go in Bloomington. And he's still running that over at Edward Square, I think is the name of the place.
Oh, it's on the east side.
Yeah. But what happened, Simon eventually priced us out. I was offered the ownership of the shop, and I turned it down.
I see.
Because I'd
too
seen the
much.
numbers, and it was like, this isn't going to work. You know,
Yeah, the
we can't
overhead
do
there
this.
is
It
crazy,
was
which
bad.
is why our mall's dying. It's
Yes.
almost empty now.
Yes. So in 2002 is when I made my journey over to Ellettsville, which we started the barbershop right across from now the Domino's Pizza place.
Right.
It was Stephen Carter's barbershop at that time. But that's where I got my start in Ellettsville, 2002. October, I think it was 22nd.
And that's still your location now.
No.
Oh, I see.
That
Okay.
was, we leased that, and I was there about 3.5 years. And then I purchased the place that I'm at now, and I've been there for about 18 years.
no
18
kidding.
years, yep.
So you left the Stephen Carters.
Yes. So we didn't own the building. We were just leasing.
I see.
And then a building came available for me to purchase.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
put my shop in. And I also had three to four gals working for me at that time, too. So it was a pretty good opportunity.
Where's your location now?
It's basically the center of Ellettsville, right behind the fitness place and next to the Baptist church.
Okay.
Across from the Shell station, catty corner from the library.
Yeah,
Yes, right here at the stoplight.
Yep, right
Okay.
here in Ellettsville.
And then, and you have how many people working for you there?
Just one.
Okay, so
Yep.
it's just you and another
Yeah.
barber?
No, salon. She's in the salon. She runs it.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay, we're going to come back for more. I didn't know all this about you, so I'm excited to hear the details of your journey. So stay close. We'll talk more with our co-producer and guest Curt Longardner coming up on The General Store after this.
Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center is the place that you need to go to keep your car running in perfect order. On the outside chance your car is not running in perfect order, Chad's has a shop over on State Road 46 in Ellisville that'll give you a free estimate and reasonable rates and get your car back on the road. Now, to keep it that way, you need to hightail it over to Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center located at 1357 South Liberty Drive. You know exactly where that is. That's just right around the corner from Menards. Now, check this out. Every seventh oil change is free. That's right, absolutely free. I don't think you can get any better than that. Chad's Express Lube and Car Care Center, 1357 South Liberty Drive in Bloomington.
For Good Reasons Roofing, that's the number 4, goodreasons.com. They want to be your local hometown roofing specialist, whether it's hail damage, storm damage, worn out and just plain old damage, or maybe it's new construction. Whatever your 4 reasons are to have a new roof, their 4 reasons are honesty, integrity, quality, and kindness. For Good Reasons Roofing. Give them a call at 812-360-4469. They'll give you a free inspection and a transparent quote. You will be completely satisfied because Tony Pulliam will not let it be anything less than your satisfaction. Look for them at forgoodreasons.com. That's the number 4, goodreasons.com, or call them at 812-360-4469. For Good Reasons Roofing, your local hometown roofing specialist.
Just want to take a moment to talk about our newest sponsor we're really excited about, Sanders Insurance, joining the gang here at WCSM's General Store. They are located at 5641 West State Road 46 in Ellisville. If you're familiar with that address, it's because Levi Sanders, their general agent, has been at that location for quite a few years. They are now an independent insurance agency, which means they have access to the best companies that serve your particular needs. Each client is given a dedicated team that works together to address all of your concerns. They offer all types of personal insurance coverages, ATV, boat, watercraft, auto insurance, even renter's insurance. So, do you own a business? Give one of their agents a call and start saving money on commercial insurance coverages, including apartment, building owners, builder's risk, auto body shops, you name it. Sanders Insurance gives you the ability to choose the best carrier for your insurance needs. That's the main advantage to using an independent insurance agency. They'll work with the best to satisfy you. Give them a call, 812-876-7831, or visit them on the web at sandersinsurance.co and tell them the General Store sent you. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the second half of our conversation with Curt Longardner, our special guest and obviously co-producer. You've heard us mention him before. Okay, so we're talking about your career path, and so at this point you've taken us up to where you now have purchased your own property, your own building. You are a barber, cosmetologist. You have your license. You've now at this point been... what do y'all for it to be called doing hair? You've been doing hair, you've been cutting hair, you've been a hairstylist.
Whatever you like.
It doesn't matter, just as long as we pay you.
As long as I get my
There
money.
is a song. There is a song that talks about a girl, and he says, "I hear she's combing hair in Memphis." So
I don't know that.
Yeah. What is that song? I'll think about it here in just a second.
Yeah,
So you combing hair?
Are you combing hair?
Not in Memphis.
Not in Memphis. In Ellisville.
And I'm not a she.
Okay.
I identify as me, Carter. Yeah, so
We're just glad you're here, so people know what you look like now.
Your pronoun is me.
me.
Yeah, that's his pronoun too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Me. That's totally
You're
correct.
the only one that understands me.
I
Thank
can
you,
see
Sheila.
that.
So you.
We'll get to who cuts your hair here in just a second.
So Jennifer
Duncan.
Duncan
Yes.
is
She runs the salon.
she's the salon
Yes.
side.
Yeah.
You're the barber
And is
side,
fantastic.
and she's been doing hair for how long?
Longer than me. I think she's
oh.
been, I don't want to say her age because
Right.
it could be wrong.
Yeah.
You
Even
don't.
if I'm right,
And you
I could be
and
wrong.
you could be dead.
Yeah. She's slightly older than me. I'll say that. And she's been doing hair, I think, probably a little bit longer.
Okay.
I've been at 32 years now.
That's what I was going to ask. So you've been doing it for 32 years. Do you still enjoy it?
Love it.
You do. You
do.
still love the.
Well, I like it. I really like it. Love, that's a strong word, love. I love my wife,
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because you said that originally you'd thought about being a musician, so you're clearly a creative spirit, and you're an artist, and so I think that is part of. Is that part of it? Is the art of doing hair, cutting hair, the cosmetology, barber? Is the art part of it that you like?
Yeah,
Or-
I do. I mean, each head's a sculpture. in a
Yes,
sense,
for sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
So it's been a challenge, for the last 30 years, figuring out different types of hair,
yes.
how to approach that hair, and how to make it look good.
No, people don't understand.
That's
True.
it's
Yeah.
right. It's right. And always back to Mayberry. Floyd would always say, "Every head a walking testimony."
That's right.
Yes.
So
It could be good or bad.
I know
Yeah.
that's what you. Yes. And we've talked about that.
That's right.
We won't
And
talk
you
about it
can't-
here.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't do. It's just like kids. Not everybody. We shouldn't put kids in the classroom in the same box, because
No.
not all kids are the same learners.
No.
Well, it's the same thing with hair. Is that
Exactly.
it's that same idea? Like Griffin, my youngest, you've met him.
Mm-hmm.
Very kind of coarse, curly.
Yeah.
Some of it's kind of tight curls, where other areas is loose. You can't just, your typical haircut is comb it, pull it out, and cut it.
Right.
You can't cut his hair like that.
Yeah.
Because, you have to really kind of almost cut it dry and cut the parts that are sticking out and longer, and kind of just shape it almost like a shrub or a bush. You know what I mean?
Chia pet?
Seriously.
Like a chia pet.
I'm seriously. That's kind of how you have to, his
Yeah.
hairstylist, that's how she cuts his hair.
Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying. You really do have to know
How to approach it.
the hair, the
Texture.
Is it fine? Texture, right? So that's really,
Yeah.
really interesting. So do you cut men's and women's?
I do
hair?
have some women too. Yeah, mainly men, but
Yeah.
I've got some, and most of the women are older. I
Yeah.
do more of a pixie cut, the
Yeah, yeah.
shorter cut. But I do my wife's hair. I've done my daughter's for years too. So I could pretty much do it all. I don't particularly like doing longer hair because I don't do enough of it anymore to
Right.
feel comfortable. But yeah, I can whip it out if I have to.
That's interesting. So now, you can cut your own hair, which is
Yeah.
crazy to me. I know you probably have.
Can you demonstrate that at all?
Well, I start with a Bud Light. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey,
I'm kidding. It's Coors Light. I don't do Bud Light. That's jeez. What am I thinking there?
Jeez, he just said
you can
jeez.
tell. You can tell. I mean, this is a really nice cut here that you're doing a fantastic job with.
Well, thank you, Curt.
Yeah, absolutely. I would never go
I know
to a
you're an
barber because you know who my barber is.
Yes, him.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So and what I love about Carter,
And if his hair looked like crap, you wouldn't be going to him.
that's exactly
That's
right.
your point.
That's exactly right. So it's kind of like, do you want to eat food served from a chef that doesn't?
Yeah,
like
right.
a bigger person. I don't. I mean,
Yeah, no, right, right.
I mean, your hair looks great, Carter. So
Well,
I
thank
just
you.
continue to come. 20 years now, right?
That's it.
So
Yeah.
So, you have a lot of, for lack of a better term, high profile clients.
Do we have a client list?
No, let's
we're gonna
not.
share.
Let's not
Are we
go
going to
there.
share a client
But we
list?
I don't
can
think
share a few.
I guess.
I mean, Don Fisher.
Yeah.
You've done Don's hair for.
We've talked about that on the show.
I'm not sure how many years now. Probably.
Is that why he wears a hat all the time?
13, 14. Yeah, I think it is. I asked him about that one time. Because if he didn't have time to comb it.
He wore a hat on
Yeah.
the show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because I just cut it. He likes to style it. So.
I'm the same way though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I love the gal that cuts my hair.
Yeah. But you go straight
Trisha
home.
Morrow, just love her to death. But
You go straight home.
yeah, and she gets that. She goes
yeah.
when you go home, you can style it yourself.
Yeah.
And
I do that too. I hand the comb to clients. I say, okay, the cut's there. Put it the way you want it. Because look,
I
you're not going to
used to-
get the way that.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Years ago, I used to go to Carol Bolin, and she would cut my hair, and I would then move over
Yep.
to an empty
That's
station
right. And you do it.
and do it myself.
That's right.
I just, I'm really kind of funny about
Is that
how
what you do, Mark?
Yes.
With yours?
Yeah. No. So you,
Making sure he's awake over there.
Don Fisher,
I am.
and then you do Joe Smith's
Mm-hmm.
hair, right? And then who else? Do you do some other
Kyle Hornsby. I used to have
range.
several
Bruce
guys,
Hornsby in the rain?
Yeah, not Bruce Hornsby.
No, okay.
Kyle from
Right.
IU. Connor Hickman is a
Oh,
client of
yeah.
mine,
Yeah.
and he may be. Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see how
right.
that goes.
Right.
Who else?
We'll let you announce
Brian
that in a couple
Evans.
weeks.
Any
Oh
entertainers at all?
gosh, a lot of IU
Oh yeah, a
players
bunch
then.
of them. Yeah,
Most of which probably work at Cook.
yeah. We
A lot of the IU guys end up at Cook, don't they?
did the Mellencamps.
I was going to
kids
say,
years
that's
ago.
what I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not John, just the boys. So that's been years ago.
HUD and
Years.
Spec.
HUD and Spec. That's number 2 Burr. That's what they got.
No kidding.
Interesting.
That was
Very
years ago
interesting.
at the mall. So
Nice.
Interesting.
Wow.
So, and you're very, very busy.
extremely, yeah.
Which is
I can't.
awesome.
I'm
God's
close
blessed you.
clientele. Yeah. 32 years. I better have a.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But
What's your
in this
biggest tip?
Oh my!
What's your biggest
The
tip?
biggest tip
Oh.
I ever got.
Yeah.
At least
It had to be
probably
for me.
$100.
It had to be
awesome.
for me.
Well, I knew it wasn't from Curt.
It had
yeah,
to be
right.
for me.
No, I'm sure
Right?
it wasn't from Kurt.
I mean-
The best tip I ever get a new job. No.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Oh, yeah. That's that what my dad would tell you.
$100
that
tip's
one.
a nice tip.
Yeah, it was.
we-
very nice.
Christmas time. You know. Hey.
Yeah. Well,
got
that's still,
about-
it's very nice.
We got about 5 minutes or so left.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, though, I do want to talk. One of my favorite things is you and Mike both are very involved. Or have been very involved locally with worship teams and doing worship music. And I think that the thing I find that I just think that it is the neatest thing you guys have done is you're not necessarily part of a worship team in one church. You have kind of gone around to churches when they need help,
Yeah.
when they need people filling in for worship service. You guys will kind of go in and help them out and fill in and fill in holes here and there. I love that you guys do that. I just think it's wonderful. What a great way to serve.
We love it.
Yeah, I think that's neat. Now, are you still doing much worship?
Not recently.
Yeah.
No, not recently, but last few years, yeah, several churches.
Because I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you both right now, Mike's listening too. I told the worship leader at Smithville Christian Church, which is where I go, that
You dropped their name.
that I did drop your names. I said, I know these two guys that they
And
come
work
and
for free.
help out.
Yeah, they work for free.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
They
are.
don't need anything. Yeah.
Well, because you're
don't.
servants.
Teasing.
No.
I know.
No, we really
they're
do. We don't like that.
It's your way to serve,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing. And sometimes we are maybe shorthanded, or because we have some young kids that perform with the worship team that are so gifted, but they are going to camps or whatever. So I may call you guys and go, hey, we need some help this weekend. I don't know if
Right.
you'd be interested or not, but I love the fact that you guys have done that.
Yeah.
And I just think that's wonderful. So you've been kind of active in the worship field, I guess, in local churches.
Yeah. Yeah, it was when our church dissolved. The rent basically ran out up here at the school, and we started a house church. And my family and I and some of the families from the church. And I thought, it would be a really good idea if we could go around and help churches with that kind of thing. So we've helped Grace Place. West Side is Sherwood Oaks now is, what is it? It's
West Side Community.
West Side Community. Helped them several times. Owen Valley Fellowship, we've been over there. So just several little churches.
Ellisville Christian.
Ellisville Christian.
I think you've been
Yep,
there.
been there
I think the
several
list
times.
is crazy long, actually. of where you've been.
Yeah, it's been, but it's been a blessing because they've called. Hey, we're in need. Our guy's either on vacation, he's sick, different things. It's like, hey, we're there.
Well, I think that's
very
wonderful
nice.
because that's
Yeah.
really kind of what Tom Ellsworth, when he was in here as our guest, the same thing is he's been called upon. God has led small churches that have lost their minister or their pastor, and Tom has been the interim pastor for so many now. And I love that you guys are kind of doing that same thing for worship, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that's great.
We think you're wonderful, Carter.
Oh, yeah. Tell my wife.
She knows. Amy, you know.
So before we do wrap up, and since we're kind of already on this faith topic of you being on, talking about your worship service, serving and things like that, wrapping up, I would love for you to just kind of share a little bit of your faith, because it's so important to, I think, to the general store and to what we're doing here. And we feel a little bit like this is our mission field. And so we would love for you to share maybe a bit of a witness or testimony before we wrap up.
Real quick journey from when I was little. Grew up in a Christian family, like most of us have. But I hit the point where it's like, I've got to know this for a fact for me. And it was around 7 or 8 years old that I spent a lot of time praying and asking the Lord, hey, show me that you're real. I want to know that Mom and Dad said you're real, but I want to know that you're real. And he showed me in a really incredible way at that age that he not only was real, but he loved me.
Oh.
And so I've been serving him some years not as effective as others. We all hit those times.
Yep.
But he has been with me and walked with me through my life and has done some spectacular things. In times that I've doubted him, he's proven himself many, many times.
Love that.
And can't wait to see him someday.
Oh, isn't that going to be wonderful?
Yeah.
Amen.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and I'm like, they said, what's the first thing you'll do when you enter the gates of heaven? And I'm like, I am going to run as fast as I can into Jesus' arm, because I can only imagine what that's going to feel like to have Jesus' arms wrapped around you. I mean, I just can imagine it with his love and kindness and mercy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's
thank you, guys.
so fun to have you on here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And now that we know that you do okay behind a mic, we might have you back at some point.
We might.
We'll see. I don't know.
I didn't choke too bad.
We have to talk to the producers about it. Whatever.
We'll check in with the producer, and the co-producer.
Mike's over there saying that ain't happening.
Right.
No, Mike's like, he's doing all the things. He's like, no.
I have noticed.
Yeah.
He's busy over there. He's very busy over there.
Oh, yeah. I'll be doing that here soon.
So bravo. No, it's nice. So.
Mike's busier than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
Yeah, exactly.
One-legged man in a butt-kicking
Yes,
contest.
that's right. Oh, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for what you do with the producing and the.
It's my pleasure, guys. Love it.
We appreciate it
so
very
much, so much. And we didn't even get to the neatest part of the story is that, and we can't go into it now, but there would be no general store podcast if it weren't for Curt going and sitting in his barber's chair, and that's how God led us to this whole thing is the connection between Curt and Carter. So thank you so much for
Thanks,
that. Appreciate it so much. All right, God bless you. And if it's the Lord's will, we'll see you back in here next Friday for another edition of The General Store.